Synergetic journal videos of my individual ongoing non-political manifesto, April 16 through 17, 2026. The Closest Approach to Eternity and God, Part 3. Christina Herlofson's Anticipatory Design Science Synergetics' research project. Whatever perplexity is underway, whether anybody's reactions to the troublesome scenarios are outside acceptable behavior, as actors on the world stage can induce a need to control the developing situations by bringing into one's thought, language, problem-solving, imagined environment the ultimate power of God. It would be wiser to have a clearer idea of the omni-rational, omnidirectional general systems mathematical control matrix than relying on childhood's indoctrinated lessons which emphasize trusting various factors of the PRJMWBSHM, politics, religion, justice, military, war, belief system, hierarchical matrix. The omni-rational, omnidirectional general systems mathematical control matrix refers to the basic triangle's basic disequilibrium 120 least common denominator triangle of the icosahedron that provides basic data for the 31 great circles of the spherical icosahedron and also is the basis for all geodesic dome calculations. Since the omnicomprehensive objective in any case is to reduce the tolerance magnitudes of the residual inaccuracies of observation and articulation, humans of a mind, our evolving mammalian species, ought to be informed about what has less spherical excess than the 48 basic equilibrious LCD triangles of the vector equilibrium. Eventually, one's UIVMOFCH universe isotropic vector matrix operational field cosmic hierarchic curiosity anticipates manifesting an informed awareness of integral equanimity, and the vector equilibrium is the equanimity model that shares the same design in metaphysical and physical universe. Synergetics Figure 901.03 basic triangle and Synergetics 901.19 basic disequilibrium 120 LCD triangle. I remind us here that the most accurate sound word for God is Yom, E-O-M. So let's make no doubt about this, as E-O-M, Yom, is closer to the General Systems Control Matrix, which is the only comparable silicon computer chip that has yet to be publicly introduced into our humanity's universal communication process, and which every individual can conceptualize independent of size when UIVMOFCH comes to mind during consciously coordinated metaphysical generalized conceptioning fields of thought correlatively to eliminating the slave mentality conditioning from the earth. We are not interested in procuring more weapons, nor reading one more book that defends the billionaire's least profit-motivating technology similar to Farzad's Mesbahi's Abundance or Collapse, the fork in the road for AI, robotics, and civilization. This publication details what can turn out to be one more costly attempt that fails to manifest equanimity for our own prosperity and the fulfilling lifetime of our future progeny. Surely no one in their right mind wants to replace Synergetic's omni-rational control matrix with Farzad's convergence flywheel that doesn't care about career timelines, mortgage payments, or college savings plans, since of course it spins at its own pace correlatively to disruption, displacement, and upheaval. See page 26 of Farzad's recently published paperback book based on years of his first principles analysis. Certainly, there is a profound difference between first principles and eternal generalized principles that cannot be factored out of the most comprehensively considerate anticipatory design science ruddering, shunting, steering, valving. Ruddering is when order can be achieved through positive and negative magnitude and frequency-controlled alteration of a successive steering angle. Ruddering is within the grand strategy of our 21st century anticipatory problem solving that can be accomplished exclusively through design transformation of human ecology's physical environment. The apparatus of it is the design stratagems range from powerful to subtle. Logically, it cannot be ordered from the Vatican, Islam, or any centuries-old dominant controlling hierarchy of power that has relied on inculcating false premise lessons that eventually must be obsoleted in full in order for our species, humans of a mind, to consciously rely on communication theory that explores human behaviors which are brain controlled to become evident, that the human brain steers humans through constant change, as discovered by Norbert Wiener, Shannon, and others correlatively to choosing the word cybernetics, which etymologically derives from the Greek roots of rudder, R-U-D-D-E-R. Neither can the least physical effort of trim tab be omitted when strategically maneuvering ships of state through the various problematic seas, and whatever can control with the least resistant direction when consciously mindful of various fundamental transformations such as the falsely accredited AI data mining that requires enormous amounts of energy because supposedly it is superior to the human brain, and the natural brain control feedback as a basis that is applicable to computers. Being applicable to computers does not give those technologists, especially the billionaire, power over any human and its trust in a government by the people, for the people, as if each of us is a dimwit that has to be reduced to a disposable pawn in those detrimental game plans. I will get back to by the people in the future. Shunting seems to have been rejected by Arbuthnot Fuller, but was initially listed under the now non-existent Synergetics 458.11 as an icosahedron function in universe. It may have been thought to throw the switch of cosmic energy into a local shunting circuit where energy gets locked up even more by the six great circles, similarly to borrowable electrons independently of the proton-neutron group. In any case, modifications of relative magnitude of the system's import and export programming and rates of recurrence would have been accomplished by computer events of the system which interfere with, intercept, and shunt, which in that case would have been synchronous with valving into holding patterns. Shunting in Synergetic 647 discloses the apparently different velocities or rates of acceleration. This is something that the physicists do not agree can truly exist, even though seemingly different velocities are a plurality of angularly precessed energy actions, which is what shunted is when regeneratively operating respecting other systems. Would it be wiser for metaphysical intellect, synergetically informed, consciously coordinated thought language during its universal information communicating processing to deselect any PRJMWBSHM factorization while selecting instead what may divert omnidirectional energy into focused actions and reactions that can be conceptualized as radial or circumferential patternings? If we hope to reduce the tolerance magnitudes of the residual inaccuracies of observation or articulation, humanity's metaphysical intellect and mind-brain consciously coordinated thought language is advantaged by precession-shunted circuit synchronization, not by AI displacement or any of the belief systems grandstand theologies that historically intend ruling over the world in one way or another by invalidating human intellection. We can see in Synergetics Figure 647.02 a hand-drawn illustration of shunting's relative motion patterns, the loops at 186,000 miles per second relatively to an observer as 10 miles per hour. Besides, precession is one of the 6 motion freedoms listed here, and awareness of which also nullifies Farzad's flywheel that apparently neglects to notice these degrees of freedom referentially to a bona fide operational field complex: axial rotation, orbital rotation, inside outing, torque, expansion, contraction, precession. Steering effects, as we come to know of it, can be personally reassuring when reading in Synergetics 537.42 through 43. In quotes, each individual integrity is like a steering effect, and like all steering effects, they go from one aberration to another, end quote. Come to think of it, the most predominantly dastard aberration in the world today has to be the Iran-affiliated terrorists and proxy groups, the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, and Hezbollah and Hamas, commanded by various appointed ayatollahs in a multiple of the nations that share their Islamic ideals, which is a convoluted complexity of the PRJ, MW, BSHM interrelated factors that would have perpetuated the process of combating and eliminating the slave mentality conditioning, was it not for the USA President and Israel's Prime Minister declaring war February 28, 2026 to end it once and for all. But then the planet's friendly genius, Arbuthnot Fuller, was not weighted under by Elon Musk's net worth, which is estimated at about $811.6 billion, according to Forbes, as of April 2026. As Bucky Synergetics is also freed from Elon's obsessive upstaging the other AI game players, which goes beyond the pale. Farzad's Tesla investments count on convergence, but does not mention the always and only coexisting complementarities that physics has found, one of which is converging and diverging. After all, we cannot have one phenomenon complemented by less than one other phenomenon, which does not suggest promoting imagination's preferred scenarios like convergence and flywheel, if there is such a thing. So it is wiser to learn about what is omnidirectional and discretely directional, non-conceptuality and conceptuality, spheres and spaces between spheres, static and dynamic, starred tetrahedron and vector equilibrium, specialization and comprehensivity, specialization and generalization, synchronous and dysynchronous, wave magnitude and frequency, zero and system, zero and heat, especially since humans are not exempt from universe and therefore must go on to a cosmic accounting, the time-energy cosmic accounting, and maximum efficiency alternative technologies that do not make millions of robots to displace billions of humans, or to fill the sky with satellites powered by the sun before thoroughly exploring the unit volume A and B quantum modules that can provide a satisfactory way for us to cognize and recognize both the metaphysical and physical, generalized cosmic accounting of all human experience, Synergetics 950.30, to be continued in Part 4. Thank you. Gratefully, faithfully, eternally, Christina Herlofson. Contact herlofsoncristina@gmail.com.